All right, Broncos country, we are live. Breaking news. It's the biggest news of the day. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not super high on it. I know that Colin Cronin is not as super high on it either, but we are talking about the captains. The Denver Broncos just released their list of captains. Column 8 captains? Seriously?
Yeah, it seems a little excessive. They're good guys. They're everyone on the list. They're solid players. I just do not, for the life of me, understand the need to have 8 captains on an NFL roster, let alone on the field at any one time.
I can imagine the coin toss is going to be a little crowded out there
Yeah,
when they all go out.
you imagine that'd be the case. But the interesting thing is, it would seem that like around the league, people are doing any number in the same way that the players' numbers that they for the position groups have changed. Same with captains, I think.
Yeah, it's a participation trophy kind of thing now, I think. But back to your point, I don't really have anyone on here that I don't believe like shouldn't be on the list. Like I'm okay with all of them being on there. I know that there'll be people out there in Broncos country who will question Alex Singleton being out there. I'm dying on the hill. Alex Singleton's going to have a great season playing next to Greenlaw. Let's hope the quad's okay. But and then Hufanga being in his first year, I think is interesting. But when you bring a guy that's respected in the league like that, one of your big free agent landings, he's going to get some respect from the room that he's in. And these are voted by the players, right? Did the Broncos use coaches too, or are they just a player vote? Do you know?
Well, I imagine if it wasn't if the coaches didn't have a vote, they certainly I imagine had a say, but I don't know if it went what sort of mechanism they used for that. I saw obviously story around the 8, but I don't know if it was a vote or who had a vote. How that works? Do you need to? Does a vote at a certain time? Is it done on the field? Is it a secret ballot? How
I think
does
it's a
it?
secret ballot. I think it's a secret ballot, and I think all the players vote. But there were, I don't know if it was Hackett and those idiots, but there was a coach, like coaches, like maybe not exemptions, but maybe the coaches also got to vote. Either way, this is 8 players have made captain. Um, Now, I guess we just go real quick through it. DJ Jones, starting on the right, my right, maybe your left, folks out there in Broncos country. But we've got DJ Jones, Hufanga, my guy Singleton, of course, PS2 is there, and Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, Quinn Miners, and Will Lutz. Now, I think based on what I know about you, Colum, you might agree with me that there should be one from offense, one from defense, and one from special teams. Is that where you fall on this, or do you have other ideas?
Yeah, while I don't want it to come across as angry old man shouts at cloud, but I am left to wonder somewhat at the need for 8. I think 3 works. I think you want to rep from, I mean, there are 3 phases to the game, so you want a rep for each of those 3 phases. So offense, defense, special teams. And obviously if something wasn't working out during the season, you could move somebody on. But
Mhm.
I just what are they going to do? and I think it is interesting to see because in some instances, for instance, the Bills, they only have two captains, and um, the Chiefs don't go with captains for the regular season, only for the playoffs. So
Well, it's
that's
the Chiefs. They're always in the damn playoffs. They don't even pay attention to the regular
and
season.
it's another side of the way they
Yeah.
approach things, but it's just very you know interesting how different teams approach it. And the Raiders went with just the three, the Panthers went with just the three. I guess every roster, every squad is going to be different. The Ravens go with a rotating captain,
Yeah.
and they only
Game day
assign,
captains.
yeah, they only assign a set captain again for the playoffs. So yeah, look, different coaches have different approaches.
I think I want to say that Shanahan used to rotate them too. They were game day captains, uh, but I could be wrong there. But we've got so I mean, just real quick, Will Lutz obviously would be our special teams
Yes.
captain, solid player. Shanahan or a Sean Payton guy. Miner's great for the offensive line. Um, it's almost position groups here, isn't it? Because
Yeah, and
you've got you've
that's
got
kind of what they
yeah,
seem to have gone with for our guys.
yeah, you've got special teams, O line, wide receiver, QB, defensive back, linebacker, and then you got safety, so corner safety, and then a defensive lineman. Uh, so what position group are we missing here? Running back. No running backs. And as far as snubs go, interesting, I guess. No Dre Greenlaw is on the list. Don't know if that means anything, but that's the really only snub I can think of. Zach Allen would be nice there, I think, as a quiet leader. Again, though, this is 30% of the starting game roster. I'm just about. I think they've kind of overdone it a little bit. I thought maybe I had some video of the reactions from the players, but with my luck, if I do it, I'll end up getting banned for stealing content. So, yeah. Final thoughts about captains. I'd prefer three. I'd take Lutz, Bo, and PS2. Have it mean something, but yeah, I guess it doesn't really bother me that much. It's like uniform numbers, things like that. They just
Yeah.
they don't really do much for me. Uh, I want to see what they do in the game. This kind of stuff is just fun to talk about. And since it's midnight in Dublin, Ireland, I thought I would drag you out, force you to stay up past your bedtime, and then curse me tomorrow while at your work. And if that's all I get of this, then by God, it was worth it.
I would tend to agree. I think what can be interesting is how different players approach the captaincy.
Okay.
Like like certain players are almost made to be captains, and but it's not always your best players. Now, I think in the
Right.
Broncos instance, you know, Pat Surtain he's just phenomenal. He is the best quarterback in the league. He is, you know, I mean, certainly, one A or one B on best defensive player in the league.
It was last year.
Yeah, well, absolutely, deservedly defensive player of the year. I mean, there are obviously, Miles Garrett is a phenomenal talent as well. But some players really enjoy being captain, but not every player. Some players prefer to do their own things. It's like the way in which players approach the game warm-ups, right? Some players like to be very much in the zone themselves. Some players like very much like the kind of spectacle, and almost have a ritual that they go through. We have seen that in Denver in recent years, the the way certain players behave, like in pre-game warm-ups. So I find that fascinating. Different, they have different approaches. They have certain things that, like, players tend to be a superstitious bunch as well, and so if something works, they tend to like to stick with it.
Yeah, again, I try not to get too riled up about stuff that that doesn't
You
really
can't
mean
control.
anything. This is kind of like off-season fodder, right? Like, the stuff that we'll
Yeah.
talk about in the off season is amazing to me. I try I try not to do it, but it's kind of like part of it keeps me sane. Like, I don't think I've ever done a show or even maybe a tweet like on what team captains we have. But for some reason today, when I saw that, I wanted to talk to you about it and get your thoughts on it and see if they were kind of the same as me. It's not that I don't care. It's just I don't. I think I like the fact that Bo Nix is a captain. And I know that we like to say that quarterback is always going to be a captain. That's not always true, and when it doesn't happen, it's concerning, especially in a second-year quarterback. I was happy to see Bo there. Um, I'm honestly, personally happy to see Alex Singleton on there. Um, but yeah, the rest of it is whatever. Um, just interesting to me. Interesting to keep you up past your bedtime. I like the fact that I'm now controlling your sleep schedules from 1,400 miles away or whatever the hell we are, 14,000 miles away. God knows how far we are. We'll have to do the math on that, folks. We know that our Dublin to Denver host, Colin Cronin, is in Dublin, Ireland. I am at the Carmelini Ranch at a hidden location not far from Darth Valley, depending on what you think far is. Colin's been here. He knows that I'm in the witness protection program, so he's not going to give that away yet. That's coming in the future. But Colin, thanks for coming in. I guess before I let you go though, any thoughts on having 8 people up there and not seeing Dre Greenlaw?
Um, I mean, the only thing I can say is that Mike Kliss's tweet earlier around Greenlaw continues to struggle getting healthy.
Mhm.
Interesting choice of words from Mike,
Yeah.
who is very well connected into the organization. You wouldn't think he would use those words unless that was very much the case. So Greenlaw is a phenomenal player when he is on the field.
Yeah.
But we know that it has been, I suppose, he has struggled at times with injury. So I think it's 2019, his first season, he was healthy for the entirety of the season. He missed a few games in 2020. He was out for a significant time in 21. He's healthy in 22, 23, and last year he has a really bad injury. That's why you get these players in free agency. If he's on the field, he is such a difference maker. And that's an area where we struggled last year. But I'm okay with some players, that's what I mean. Some players let their play do the talking, right? He is an absolute thumper when he's on the field. He sets the tone with his play. And there's our good friend Jerry Jones. I'm not sure if we could see Dre Greenlaw tackle Jerry. That might be an interesting one. But for me, I'm not going to read too much into it. My hope is just that we will see Dre Greenlaw on the field more often than not. It is only still Wednesday in the United States. It's Thursday here in Ireland, so I'm speaking to you from the future. And future column hopes that Dre Greenlaw will be on the field. I think we cannot take the two upcoming games for granted, but by the same token, when you consider the Broncos' schedule, if Dre Greenlaw was to miss, games, I think you would much rather it be this time of the season, because that after the Titans and the Colts, you're looking at the Chargers, the Bengals, the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's some serious offense. We may not like the Chargers. We may have our issues with the Bengals and want to get them back for last season. We might feel that we owe them one, but the reality is that they're a serious unit on offense, and the Eagles are. We had real trouble at times against the run last year. And that is an area that, Greenlaw was brought in to really help with. And if he's not there, that will be a factor. So I think if I was the team, I'd be wrapping him in cotton wool, and I would be saying, hey, take your time. Let's make sure that you are 100%, because I don't want to risk him against the Titans or the Colts. That's not to say they'll be easy games, but they're easier games.
Yeah, 100% agree. If you're going to bubble wrap Dre Greenlaw for a couple games, put him on a pitch count, as they say. This is the 2 games to do it. I think 2 of those games with Los Angeles, Philly, and Cincinnati are on the road as well. So even tougher, right?
Yeah, I mean, Philly is a difficult place to go at the best of times. Let alone against the reigning Super Bowl champs with Vic Fangio, probably with a point to prove. So that's that's something I think is going to be a real test. It's going to give us a sense of where this Broncos team really is at, because I describe people won't like it, but this was a team that was a bit of a paper tiger last year. We beat up on bad teams, which is the first step, right? Where the Broncos had been, like before Sean Payton arrived, and really before last year, this was the team that was in the doldrums. This was a team that was down with the Jets and the Giants in terms of the ability to score points. I mean, we really struggled. So to take that step last year, but we played the Ravens, and ultimately they exposed us, and the Bills did in the second half. I think we've taken significant step forward in the off season. I like the moves we have made. I think having retained the core of the coaching staff. I want to see where we're at, and you want to test yourself against the best. Well, that's who the Eagles are right now.
Yeah, it's not bad too, because I think the Eagles are week 5. So even if we have, I just say the usual slow start, especially offensively, it builds up a little bit of time. Now, I've brought this up before, and I've heard this several times. So this will be Bo Nix's first time playing in the same offensive system 2 years in a row since he was in high school. So, are you aware of that, Colin?
I'd heard that before, and I think just having, you know, the stability, particularly with Sean Payton, because ultimately the pros are where it's all about, and it's his relationship with Payton, and how they gel, so that you want them to be, you know, on the same page. You want Bo to get to the point where he's anticipating what Sean is likely to do. That's, you know, we know that that's ultimately where the QBs and head coaches or offensive coordinators are at their best, right? When the QB has a really
Mhm.
good idea, you know, that you're going to have tweaks. So I think it is very, it's very pleasing, and it should be. I thought Bo showed one of the things I was really impressed about last year was he is a guy who learns. He doesn't
Yes.
tend to make the same mistake twice. And I think that's a really positive trait. It's like the antithesis of Drew Lock. This is a guy who's super smart. So he made a mistake. I'm not going to do that again. And I think that's a really good quality in a QB. And therefore he can take the step up. I think what's been interesting to me in the offseason is some of the national media narrative around Bo Nix. And I know that Stephen Ruiz had his QB rankings come out, and he wasn't maybe as harsh on Bo Nix as he has been in the past. But some of the stuff that came out this offseason, Nix is what we thought he would be. These guys were absolutely laughing the Broncos out of town when we picked Bo Nix at 12. They spent last summer saying he was going to be a flop. Then
Oh, we have receipts, Colin.
they took victory laps during the first few weeks of the season. So to then turn around and say, "Oh, he was what we expected," because he turned it around and he had a really, really strong end of the season. And I mean, when you hear guys like Max Crosby say things like he was impressed by, you know, Bo Nix's cojones, that's the type of stuff that's pleasing. Max, hey, Von Miller is a much better pass rusher than Max Crosby. Don't want anyone thinking otherwise. But Max Crosby saying nice things about your QB, especially Broncos QB, might be more meaningful than Von. I love Von to bits, incredible player. We would not have Super Bowl 50 without him, but he's far too kind and has been too kind about Broncos QBs over the last decade.
Yeah, and as always, fantastic takes from Colin Cronin. The Dublin to Denver podcast with Stuart Roach comes out every week, everywhere you get your podcasts. Can't thank you enough for coming on. I know it's midnight in Dublin, and but I couldn't do this without you. I was just fascinated when I saw. Oh, I don't know. I saw the 8 guys. It seemed like overkill. Again, I'm not a serious person. I don't get too wrapped up in the minutia of this kind of stuff. To each his own. I do prefer it a different way, but at the end of the day, I don't know. Not a lot of harm here, but
Oh,
it's great to get your takes. And as always, love your show. Uh, you can follow Colin from Cork across social media. He's certainly one of the best and most respected in the industry. If you don't know him, you soon will. You can catch he and I on the NFL Spin Zone on YouTube, where we talk about sort of the Twitter fodder, the fake outrage, the narratives that are being pushed, and the narratives you're not hearing about from the NFL. It's a fascinating show. We've just recorded our second episode tonight, and I dragged him back in like Michael Corleone at The Godfather. Every time he tries to get out, they pull him back in. And that's what I'm doing here. So, Colin, I'm going to let you get out of here. I'll finish up with these guys, and I will see you in the next couple of days. And maybe, I know you're busy, maybe before kickoff this week, we can do some game predictions. I will touch base with you and see what your availability is. That would be a fun show as well.
Let's
So
definitely have a look at that, and fun to jump on with you and chat about my main love, the Broncos, and
yeah,
good to see people watching, and I love that. I hope, like, I see Keith Bergman made the comment about will Greenlaw be on the field enough to be captain. That's a
yeah.
fingers crossed. If he is, he'll make a real difference. So we shall see. But yeah, let's see what we can do before Sunday. And I cannot wait to have Broncos football. The NFL off season, it is a slog. It's so long, but we are on the cusp of what I think might just be one of the best seasons the Broncos have had in many years.
Yeah.
Talk to
And
you
hey,
soon, Mike.
yeah, and hey, let's talk about if we get some games that the hours kind of work out. That London game, that'll
Mm-hmm.
be 8:30 my time in the morning, I believe. Should be an afternoon 2 o'clock-ish game for you. Are you going to? You're not going to London to the game, right? You're watching the game. You're gonna,
I people might some people watching me know I took a step back from everything for a couple of years. My mother was really ill, had some
of
caring
course,
responsibilities, but so I hadn't, when the game got announced, I hadn't booked anything, because at that point I didn't know where things were. My schedule has freed up a little bit since, so I'm going to keep an eye on it. Let's see. Let's not rule anything in or out, but
yeah.
we'll keep in touch on that.
I will be here in the studio with my 5 TVs. I'm so blessed with this studio. It's just getting ridiculous. God bless my wife for letting me do this. Uh, I will be in touch, and maybe we'll do a little pregame stuff. Maybe we'll come in at halftime and talk about it, see where we're at, and maybe even do a postgame. Who knows what we'll do? But until then, I'll let you out of here, and I'll finish up with these guys, and we'll talk to you real soon, Colin. Thanks for coming on, partner.
Sounds good.
All right.
Sláinte all. Good luck.
All right, that's Colin Cronin, unbeatable guy, and just the best co-host a guy could ever ask for. You're gonna love Spin Zone. I know it's a little brainy, it's a little bit different, but we'll bring him in for the Broncos stuff too, because he's just so darn good, and we love him. So, Keith Brugman, RMSN podcast host. Will Greenlaw be on the field enough to be a captain? That's the question, right? That's the ultimate. Gosh, I don't know. He's got the quad. It's Wednesday, so is this gamesmanship from Sean Payton with the? He's not talking about injuries, but yet there he is on the injury report. Did not practice. I don't know if he actually listed the quad, but either way, I found it interesting that he's on there. A little concerning. We'll see what happens there. Part of my whole prediction with Alex Singleton, why he was going to have such a great year, is because of playing next to Dre Greenlaw. Like, what effect is he going to have? And look at this, we got 100 people watching. That's fantastic. So Keith, thanks for coming in. Rocky Mountain Sports Network, I believe, is what your podcast host name is. And yeah, fantastic stuff. Haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you out there, partner. Good to see you coming in. So the captain's list. We've got yeah. Yeah, right down the line, I'm just okay with all of these players. And it kind of speaks to the team, right? The Broncos have an actual NFL roster and a depth chart that is just like better than what we've seen since 2016, maybe. And I think I'm lower on the Broncos than others because, like my good friend Ryan Konigsberg over at DNVR, we're both kind of show me guys. Like I've invested so much of my happiness and like my well-being in how the Broncos do. I'm old enough to remember when when John Elway, Terrell Davis, Shannon Sharp, that whole crew went up against Green Bay in the Super Bowl. So that would have been the 96 96 season. The Super Bowl was in 97, I believe. And I could be wrong on that, but you guys know what I'm talking about. This was a pivotal time, not just for me, but for the city of Denver. Now, remember I believe the Green Bay Packers were 13-point favorites or something like that. And either that or I'm remembering that the NFC had won 13 games in a row in the Super Bowl. So the AFC was just an afterthought that whatever team got to the Super Bowl, and I think like the Buffalo Bills got there 4 years in a row and just lost. Only came close to winning one. So there's a lot, I guess, to be said about being in the conversation of a playoff team, a Super Bowl contender, and I've heard that thrown around as as you have too. And you see us. I just did my power rankings, and I had the Broncos at 8. And normally, I do the Ross Tucker. If you're not familiar with Ross Tucker, what Ross does is he will pit say for instance, Minnesota, I think I had it 9, and the Broncos I had it 8. And how I differentiate between those two is I imagine them playing on a neutral site field against each other. And if they played 2 out of 3 games, who would win the 2 out of 3 games? And I honestly believe the Broncos would win that. I love the coaching staff of the Broncos. There are no holes in the coaching staff of the Broncos right now that I believe in, or that I don't believe in. The offensive line gets a lot of hype. I need to see them, get some blocks. I know we blamed the running back room, and we've rebuilt the running back room, and God bless that, because J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Tyler Bidet is a massive upgrade. Even though 2 of those guys were around, it's a massive upgrade from what we had last year. I've said this before, whichever back is out there on any particular play, I'm not going to be going, oh shit, what's going to happen? I'm going to be, hey, this could be something. So, offensive line. Now, tight end Evan Ingram, player. I've heard people say he could be our leading receiver this year. That might be a stretch. I still think that's Cortland, but Evan Ingram adds a weapon we haven't had, and Sean loves to put those tight ends in those certain positions. So I know we've moved on from captains a little bit here, and I apologize for that, but I'm just so passionate about where we're at as a roster, where we're headed, the fact that we have 8 captains on the team, and I don't have a problem with any of them. And I could add to that list. I could probably get to 12 with Greenlaw, just as one. Zach Allen should be a captain. Nick Bonito's not a captain. We didn't even get into Nick Bonito not being a captain. What does that mean? Something to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe he's very quiet. Maybe he blocked everybody on his Twitter account, which he likes to do. It's kind of an inside joke out on Twitter. Some guys in the chat room were talking about Nick Bonito, and it seemed like out of the 20 guys in this chat room, and they're all guys that do shows or just really active in the Broncos community. I got a lot of people I have respect for, and of course we keep DMs are private. We keep those private. But not seeing some of these other players on there, but seeing them named in the DMs, like, hey, where's so and so? There should be more, but a lot of these guys are blocked by Nick Benito. So I think Nick might be a little sensitive. Like somebody posted a tweet where I think they just literally said, "Hey, I like Benito. He's not that bad, but what about this guy? We could have had him blocked." So I don't know if he's that sensitive or if he's. There are people who just only want to hear positive stuff, and they need that for their like their mental sanity. So good for them, and we see if that stuff works. But again, let's take a last look for you guys. It's a good looking group. Now, again, what it should be in my book is Lutz, Bo, Patrick Surtain. One from offense, one from defense, one from special teams. Keeps it secret. I think that all these are voted by the players, and that's a great sign. That's a really great sign. I know Miners said he made a quote where he said the whole offensive line should be listed as one. I thought that was a really cool statement. I know that Bo talked about how serious he takes it, as well did Court. It's just a big honor. As PS2 said, it was just a great honor to be voted. A great sign for Alex, for me, since I'm dying on that hill. I'm the only Alex Singleton fan in the 303. So that's awesome. And then Hufanga is interesting because he's, free agent just coming in. And it shows you what kind of impact he's probably having on that room. I have the feeling, well, I know for a fact, he's very vocal. He's expecting that backfield to fly around and make an impact. And guys, let's be honest. What's the strength of the Denver Broncos? It's the defense. And what's the strength of the Broncos defense? It's the defensive backfield with Moss, J-Mac, PS2, Brandon Jones, and Hufanga. These guys stay healthy. Nobody's passing the ball on us. And what was our big weakness at the end of the year last year? Was the ability to run the ball. I know that there were people out there that said that the team got better, or the defense got better when Alex went out. That's one of those stat things that people go with a stat and they call it real. The defense wore down late in the season, and we were watching running backs pick up 5, 6, 7 yards on just right down the middle, simple runs. And I think if you add a healthy Alex, at least a mostly healthy Dre Greenlaw, and then Hufanga back there, coming up, laying down a hit, it's going to be really impressive. It's going to change things for the Broncos. And then on the offensive side of the ball, the addition of Ingram, J.K. Harvey, R.J. Harvey, who I have high hopes for. And then again, Bo Nix in the second year of the system with Sean Payton. First time he's been in the second year of a system since he was in high school. And if you go back all the way to, was it Auburn? I'm already forgetting. If you go all the way back to when Bo started college, he has gotten better every single year. And I tweeted out a stat months ago, and I don't remember exactly how it was, but basically Bo didn't throw a touchdown pass until like game 4 of last year. And then he only had like 8 touchdown passes in the first 8 games. And then in the last 9 games through like 21. So he came alive in the second half of the season. And that's not to say that I wasn't a little worried when we needed to win one game to get into the playoffs, controlled our own destiny. We needed to win one game and lost 2 of them and beat Kansas City with their fourth stringers in the game. So I still have some nerves uh, uh, about where the team's going, but I also have some excitement. And I'm supporting their decision to have all these, these captains. Look at those captains. Find one that doesn't belong. Find the Randy Gregory, or Sean's gotten rid of all the guys. He's got his guys, his team. And has he caused some trouble? Uh, Talking a little confident. Like Sean's been out there talking some smack, right? He's talking about Super Bowl victory, talking about being a great team, sweeping the Chiefs. And do we need to talk about that? I always try and keep it real with you guys. The Chiefs were like 15-2 last year. Like we're writing them off all of a sudden, and it's like there's chink in the armor, but I mean, as long as Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are there, they're the favorite to win the AFC West. The Broncos are going to have to show us. They're going to have to show us. They won quite a few games last year against non-playoff teams. They did not win. I think they were 1-7 against playoff teams. Like they have to up their game. They have to make some noise early, I think, in the first 5 games. So we kind of went over that, but the first 5 games, what is it? Titans win, Indy win, and then you've got San Diego. You got Los Angeles Chargers, the Bengals, and Philly. That's your first 5 games. 3-2 would be fantastic coming out of that. And I think several of those games are on the road. So I think we're 3 games on the road, 2 at home. And that's like a little bit of a gauntlet. Anything can happen, but imagine if you will, how fun it would be for the Denver Broncos to come out, win the first 2 games handily, squeeze out a win against Los Angeles Chargers, beat Cincinnati with that defense. Like this could be a Bo puts up 40-point game. That would be super fun. We haven't seen that since Peyton Manning and the crew were averaging 36.5 points a game or whatever they were ordering, averaging, which is crazy if you think about it, right? Like this is a team that, what did we do? Do you remember when we were like averaging like 17 points a game for like 3 years in a row? Like 17 points a game. Like that's just not sustainable without a 2015 defense, and it's barely sustainable at that. So, you get this team up to 27 points a game. That would be fantastic, and that means a lot of wins. And they could beat Philadelphia if they can stop Barkley. I think they can stop Hurts, but I don't know that they can stop Barkley. That's going to be interesting. I think that's about it, guys. I think I've taken enough of your time. We've got just a few days left. Sunday's the game. We'll all be watching, I hope. I hope to see you guys on Twitter, making the comments, trying to, and I hope it's a good day. I hope it's a win. I hope to see you guys in the comment section on the post-game shows, which will be out. I'll probably have one of them. I don't know if Colin and I will be doing that, or I'll be with Ben on Sports Talk. He's working right now, he says. So we'll see how that happens. That was the initial plan, but life comes at you fast, Ferris Bueller said. And it's coming at us fast. So what else is coming at us fast is this game. Welcome to week 1 in the NFL Broncos, Titans, Cam Ward coming to town to face possibly the best defense in the league. Certainly the best defensive backfield in the league. So should be a long day for him. Let's keep Tony Pollard from running the ball all over the place, and this will be an absolute blowout. So next time I see you guys, it will be in the next night or two. We'll do our predictions for the game. We'll see who we get on. We'll get some guests on. We'll have some fun. And next week, I'll do Mic'd Up. So we'll be starting to do those again. And I'll have Zach Seegers and Ben from Sports Talk Denver. We'll go over the Titans game and get you all prepared for Indianapolis. So I'll keep score. And thank you. I see great numbers here. Everybody's watching. Nobody's commenting, which makes me sad because I run out of things to say. I'm just not smart enough to keep coming up with something to say. So that's it. Hey, go Broncos. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you soon.